Hello there, folks. Welcome in live to the CRT bunker. And first off, I have a very special announcement that I need to make everybody on this channel aware of today. And that is that your boy Steve has been officially commandeered and is currently being held down in the county courthouse after his spat on Twitter this morning complaining about his local taxes on his fancy pants Audi car. So, just let you know that we don't mess around, and for the time being, we have commandeered this studio and this show today. And happy Halloween. I am your newly elected sheriff of Retro Tech County, and my name is Cathode Ray Justice. And that's what I'm here to do, is serve justice to this community. Starting with another announcement. Another announcement, folks. I need your help. You see, I only get to stay here if one thing happens. And that's if you hit the like button. So that's what I need you to do. As a newly elected official here, I need all the help of the support of the people that I can get. And if you're able to click the like button, then you are officially a resident of Retro Tech County. Okay? So, please, folks, do that for me. And that way, we can keep this party rolling. All right. Now, what kind of law would I be if I didn't appoint a deputy? And I was sitting around with my notebook of potential candidates for deputy. So, let me introduce to you the first official deputy of Retro Tech County, my friend, Mr. Tom Bum. Please come in. Hello, Deputy Tom Bum. Oh, Tom. Yes, Tom. We are all impressed. Please, Tom.
Yeah.
Please, Tom.
Yeah. I'm here, baby. By the way, Tom Bum doesn't know how to type. It's Top Bum.
Top Bum. Oh,
Top
sorry.
Bum, deputy. I wrote that wrong. But anyway, we're good to go, baby. I'm going to bring some justice. I got those who have incorrect resolutions. I got people who are using the wrong cables. Unshielded. Nothing makes me angrier than unshielded analog cables. So I hope you got them HD Retrovision. I hope you got them shielded cables. Otherwise, you never know what's going to happen to you. Isn't that right, Sheriff Justice?
That sure is right, Deputy, but why don't you do us all a favor and try to zoom out a little bit so we aren't all staring at what you had for breakfast this morning in between those two teeth of yours. There you go. There you go. That's better. Thank you. Thank you to all the people. Thank you to all the people. I hope that you continue to smash that like button for these two buffoons who've commandeered this show today so we can bring to you a story of a resurrection on this Hallows Eve. Halloween, baby. We're bringing the dead back to life today in the form.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. For he gave us this gift today. He gave us this moment, this miracle. We thought all was lost. Any reasonable person would think all was lost. But this miracle worker, Justice, Sheriff of the town of Cathode Ray, he's doing miracles. He's getting miracles. Can I hear a hey man? Amen, brother. Boo, 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 boo.
Absolutely, folks.
Oh yeah.
I hope you all having a wonderful Halloween. And I hope we haven't run you out straight out of town yet. But there is a true story here. And we do also have to thank another person. Another man who dared to give this challenge to the sheriff. And that was Mr. Howard. Howard, you are a stud. You dropped off this amazing Howard. Howard's a viewer who stopped by the Retro Tech booth, which we're going to talk a little bit more about on today's program. And he said, hey, I have a gift for you. I love your show. I have a gift for you. And it was this amazing KV 1396R. But he said it was shipped and it looked great on the outside, but it did the old rattle on the inside. And this thing was, it was given the old boot from UPS and treated like a pull piece of meat and just kicked around like a dirty old sack.
Down with UPS, I say. Down with those heathens. They're going against the word of the Almighty. UPS kicking around. You'll be kicked around in the CRT afterlife. So we got this right from
That's
Howard.
Right. All right. Before we go too much further, let's do some shout outs to the good people of Retro Tech County. All of you have shown up. We have the regulars here. We have Megacard, Stu. I can't read hardly with these glasses on. Stupid Ugly, Wags Mike. We have Eric, Windows XP. I love Windows XP too. Jim, Nardekia. Thank you for coming. Joel, Jay, Stuffer, welcome back. Serini, Ronnie, Roll Pats, Brandon Arnold, Demon 20 Child. Let's see, I think that. Oh, Belmont, of course. Thank you for being here. Absolutely. Honorary Belmont, you are the honorary deputy of our chat today. Mm-hmm. And you've been deputized with a blue wrench, baby. So you must respect
his authority.
Absolutely there, deputy top bum. Bringing it up the rear with a good old body blow biscuit butter. Welcome back. That's right.
Watch out, I'll take you to the danger zone, baby. Highway.
Aethrill Mr. Meow Stick. I think Aethrill Miss. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you for being here. All right. There's the shout outs, people. Andre, welcome back. I hope y'all are having fun. Let's see what we're up to. I don't know if the sheriff can remain on duty. Oh, we're only at 24 likes. We're gonna need some more likes here. We're gonna have to get into the real story. We're gonna need to get up to 30.
I like how this has become a home shopping channel now. Oh, I haven't got enough callers. I'm gonna need some callers, okay? I need you to get on them phones, okay?
I know it's Thursday. I know it's 11:08 a.m. Eastern Time. I know you see a bottle of whiskey by your newly elected sheriff. But don't worry. We've got things under control. Okay? That's right. We're locked and loaded here. Now, we're going to get into it because today, again, we're going to talk about Howard's lovely CRT dropped off to the show. I'll also be glad to tell anything else about this show with you. And we're just going to let things simmer here for a minute while the audience gets warmed up, because that's what we do on the bunker. So,
I got my light gun here. This little retro futuristic style. Also, good for the ladies, if you know. Yeah.
Oh, great. Zez, Deputy, you just ran off the two ladies that were actually watching the show. Thank you.
and got the channel demonetized at the same time. Yeah.
Oh, double whammy. Double whammy. That's right.
We're looking good. So the show. So how much did you give us the background, Steve? How much did you share yesterday's stream, so we don't double up? What did you talk about?
We talked mostly about the sales, how I sold everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of talked a lot about one of the last sales of the show, which was a kid. Really inspiring story. I almost cried on the stream.
Beautiful.
So that's right. People are really getting to see the softer side. The softer side, folks. That's right.
That. People getting to see the softer side and say, yeah, no, oh, he's a real soft character.
That's right. So we got into it. I did, oh yeah. You're right. Most girls do hate him, unfortunately. Anyway, I got into a little bit. I said, Howard had dropped this off, but I said that we would definitely talk about it because this repair was epic. Like, you should see, wait till you see the condition of this CRT and the way it started. And, we can swap over here and, I mean, check it out. There it is right there.
We've got Howard cam.
Look at that. How's that?
So
How's that
it works. Spoiler alert,
yeah.
But you got this thing working.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've been spoiling the heck out of it. Everybody knows it works now because they've seen all the videos and stuff are on Twitter, which I can't believe it. Whatever, X, Twitter, man, I can put out a video about a CRT and like 15,000 people viewed it a day. It's nuts. There must be some big-time CRT watchers on Twitter nowadays, or X, or whatever they're calling it.
Sure, we're the only losers who are left on Twitter, I think.
Apparently not. Oh, yeah, I guess we just watch it 17,000 times. So, this lovely little beauty has gone through quite a transformation. So, just to show you a quick thing on what it actually looks like, you know, so we're gonna go over here. And what I'll do is I'll prepare the screen, because I'm gonna probably take us both off. Well, I just pulled that over. I'm going to take us both off picture for a second, and we'll look at just a kind of, let me expand that out. We'll get it ready, and we'll watch some of the videos here. And I think that should be okay. So we're going to, when we get started there, we will. We're going to look at them, but yeah, so this one, and this is one of those amazing CRTs that I've always been looking for, right? Like the wood grain. It's got the wood grain panel on it, and the better thing is it's not even just like RF only.
Ooh. Okay. So how did Howard? Did he already make an arrangement with you that he would bring it to the show? How did that get set up?
That's a good story. Okay, so Howard comes up to the booth. And like Howard is on the probably the older spectrum of my viewer base. I mean, he's retired. He served in the Korean War. And he like served for the army for his entire career and retired, you know. And he came up and he's like, "Steve, man, I absolutely love your show." And he was like, "I saw your episode that we did together, talking about starting a market."
Okay.
And he's like, "I want to do the same thing where I live with VCRs." He's like, "I love VCRs and VHS players." And I said, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, so I'm training myself in the same way since I retired to work on them. And of course, I'm always using those." He's like, "I don't play games on CRTs, but I have tons of CRTs that I love, that you know, I'm collecting and things." And so, hang on, we got a little watermark of us both. Who cares down there? Sorry for the little optical illusion for you folks in the live
picture in picture. I like it.
That is not your display. That's my display. Anyway, he you know, he was great. He talked to me for like 45 minutes. We had an awesome conversation about this, about the ideas of opening a shop, how he would be doing. And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. You know, the people need stuff like this. People need a place." And he's like, "Yeah, you know, you're talking right. You don't have to invest a lot of money being in the flea market idea. If you want to go start there, it also gives you space to like at least be putting things in some of these more expensive areas where storage costs as much as some retail spots. Because like retail space is suffering and storage is always at a premium." So he was saying, you know, so we had a long conversation. It's always this thing. "Well, Steve, I'll be at your presentation," which I did my presentation. I said, "I'll be at your presentation, and but I have a gift for you." And it's always, when someone says that, it's always like, "Oh, okay." You're a little nervous, right? Like, here. I'm always wondering if it's like, "Oh, I got a gift for you, and it's a Trinitron that's not working." This sounds like something more than a gift, maybe. And he said, "You know, it's a KV," and I was just waiting for the number because I was like, if it's anything over 20, I'm gonna die. Yeah. And he was KV 1396R, and I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, great, sure." He's like, "It's beautiful on the outside." I said, Howard has 3 eras. He has a movie room in his man cave. He has 3 eras of movie setups in there. So he has the 80s to early 90s, and it's all these wood grain CRTs and the profile stuff. And it's multiple TVs, laser discs, VCRs from that era, etc. And then he's got, you know, the next generation of that 90s, and then on in a third generation to like the early 2000s. And so it's like so cool. He's like, I have a huge video file. It's like, so I love this stuff. And he's like, I bought 3 of these KVs. And this one just showed up and didn't work. He said, I don't work on the CRTs. And so I wanted to give it to you. And just said it was rattling around, like I said. So I said, absolutely, you know, I'll take that. So he brought it to me in the box and it was packed horribly. And just left it. And I said, absolutely, let's put it under the booth. And we left it there Saturday. So that's how
Howard sounds legit. Can we get Howard on the podcast somehow?
Maybe so. I don't know if Howard has that kind of a setup.
Maybe, because, dude, I mean, he's got the man cave with multiple eras of VHS, multiple CRTs with multiple play. This dude sounds awesome. I want to chat with him. I mean, maybe he can show us a little bit or even just sit and talk with us about his love of VCRs. So do you have a contact for Howard?
No, I gave Howard my contact info. He said he'd reach back out to me.
Okay, Howard, you got to reach out to us, mate. We want to talk to you. You sound awesome.
Yeah, I guess we could even do just a phone call if you don't have anything else. That'd be
sure,
kind of cool,
whatever you got, we'll work it out. With your phone, even we could.
Oh yeah,
you
probably
can.
Just
put your phone up or something like that if you haven't got that. But you're being ageist, Steve. Maybe this dude's super legit. You don't know.
Maybe. What can I say? I'm an elected official. We all have our problems.
Yeah, well,
we all have our
that is the
demons.
American way. True.
Hey, Ray Cerrone and Conway, thank you for coming, folks. Again. We're getting close to that time. We're going to switch over. And let's see. Come on. Give us a few more likes here so we can get this thing rolling. This show is uncorporatized, unsponsored, and all we have is the luscious feeling of knowing that the message is being spread out there further by the algorithm. Will only do that if you push the like button. So you guys are awesome.
I will. You guys are awesome. Steve's doing a great job being consistent a couple times a week. That's what it's about, the consistency, baby.
There you go.
Making sure you're there. I see so many people turning up. Some people who want to listen to this guy every day, listen to us yabber on.
That's right.
A few more there. We're going to look into the story of this KV with the wood grain coming from Howard, the legend.
Okay, so just to give you a little bit of a build-up, too, on the story here. And then we'll switch over. I've got the tweets already, so I can show the pictures. So I went down to the show, and I'm going to take glasses off for a second. It's hurt my eyes. All right. I went down to the show, and we had set up everything. I sold 4 of the 5 CRTs by Saturday evening. And so I only had that one lonely Magnavox left Sunday, and that's the story I told yesterday about selling the Magnavox. That was the heartwarming one, and
to the young bloke, yep.
But what I did was, golly, I'll tell you the truth, I was just so I was hungover, like I don't know, you know, I was in bad shape Sunday morning. And that's the truth. After spending all night, I mean, like I said, I was up till 3 a.m. with crazy, I mean, just, you know, enjoying the moment.
Some good times. People and faces that you recognize. I saw Displaced Gamer there. I saw some of the My Life in Gaming boys. So.
Yeah, and then meeting Mark from Classic Game Room. And so we were all hanging out, you know, till way, and I was the one who stayed up the latest, of course. And the funniest thing was, again, I told you yesterday, I didn't have actually a room at the hotel. And my car was left at the convention. They locked the convention up, so I had to crash in an extra bed in Mark's room, Try's. And the funnier thing is that Try doesn't even drink. So he's the one sober guy, and I walk in at like 3 in the morning into the room, and he's like, all right, man, good night. And I'm like, oh, you're still awake? He's like, oh, yeah, I can't sleep that great. And I was like, all right. And so I just crashed, and we, you know, slept till about 8. And then I woke up, and then I had, you know, oh, my gosh, I feel awful. And I didn't have any of my stuff there. You know, I was just wearing the same clothes. So I was like, awesome, I'm going to get to do the old walk of shame, baby. Walking out the hotel wearing the same clothes you wore last night. And
Corey's room.
Yeah. No, Mark.
So, box. All right.
Anyway, I rolled down to to the lobby and they got the continental breakfast. And I'm like, whoo, I'm gonna get some chocolate milk, some coffee, some water. I tried to eat some eggs. And meanwhile, like the show promoter's coming out. And I'm like, how you doing, man? You feeling all right? Yeah. And another guy's like, wow, I wasn't expecting to see you up at 8 this morning. And I was like, yeah, I got quite a bit things to do. So I had to actually call an Uber from the hotel and get an Uber back to my car at the show. And then I got in my car and drove to my sister's house, which was like 20 miles from there. Took a shower, cleaned up, brushed my teeth, and went back to the convention. And then I was rolling around this convention Sunday just like this. Smiling the whole time, and I'd be like walking past the other guys hanging out, and I'm like, how y'all doing? This today? Woo! Woo! And I was so up and down and like woozy, and I'd be like fine for 5 minutes. I feel like I'm pretty good. Oh no, I don't feel so pretty good. And so I would go back to my booth, and I was like, I need to do something to concentrate for a little bit. So I was like, I'm gonna see what's going on with Howard CRT in this thing. So I opened the box, and this is like a disturbing looking box, you know. It's one of those nasty ones. It's got all this weird writing on it. You know, you're wondering if it's actually got a head in it or something.
Sure.
Like the 7 box. What's in the box? Right? So pull out the CRT. It looks fine from the outside, and then, yeah, I just hear the rattle. So that's where we'll pick up. I started then thinking, wow, this is rough, but I have nothing to do. And so I'm going to try to fix it. And there's like Sunday in the morning, there's nobody there at the convention yet. So
So you're hanging around. You got nothing to do at the convention. Oh, your presentation, it was already on the first day?
yeah, as well as the second day, which was Saturday.
Oh, okay. Right.
So,
the earlier, okay. Oh,
yeah.
it's 3 days. Yes,
3
yes,
days.
yes.
So it's
But
3
the
days.
previous day. The point is, you weren't doing your presentation while hungover as sin.
No way. And like I say, so I also sold all the things but one CRT. So my booth was like silly. I was like, booth looks terrible with just one CRT. So that's why I had 2 tables, and I pulled out all the tools and set up an entire workshop at the second table. And I had as much power as I needed. It's a very big room, and it was crazy. There was like this fan that would blow and just literally suck all the solder fumes. They didn't even get in my face. So it was like and a bright light. And I was just sitting there, and I was like, all right, I'm just doing it. And I just started doing it. And so that's where we'll pick up. That's where we're up to.
So
we're going to, this is good. This is like, where we're going to start looking at Howard CRT. And we're going to check it out. I'm going to switch the view over to where I believe it's just going to be Lewis, or Zez, deputy, top, and then I'm going to take you away, and we're going to get over here. And we're both just going to see, everybody's going to see the same screen here.
Right on.
No, you guys are fine. There's no reason to worry about being late. You're actually just right on time, because this is the part where we're talking about the actual repair. You know, this show takes 23 minutes to get going. Come in and say hello. It's Halloween. Have some fun.
Yeah, we're chilling. So we see some photos already of the desk. And as we have found out, Steve's got this broken, beautiful old CRT with the wood grain. It's been gifted to him by a legend, Howard. And Mr. Hangover here has got nothing better to do on Sunday but think, fuck it, I'm gonna whip out the tools. So you had the tools. How come you brought the tools with you?
Just in case. I got bored, and I told the guy I would just bring it. And you know, when I was at the Retro World Expo with the last group of people, I was really happy to have access to tools, because there was a couple times I needed them. Like a soldering iron. I even brought caps and stuff, but I didn't need anything like that. Okay, so this was it. We're looking at the first picture here. This was the set, and there's the other lonely stuff, right? So there's the gifts I got. I pulled out some VHS tapes, tubes, little couple things, and the CRT I had for sale. And this was the workshop area I had set up.
Nice. So that last other CRT, that's the one the kid bought eventually.
Yeah, at the very end of the show.
Cool.
And if you go in here, I took the back off, and it was super obvious what's wrong with it.
Hey, what could it be? Oh my god!
What an easy troubleshoot. I was a troubleshooting genius.
Well, my many years of investigating these electronics.
I don't think it's supposed to be aerodynamic like that.
Oh, so the box has been kicked in from the back. So, all right, we've got the neck board.
Look at this thing.
Snapped like a wafer.
Yes, that's the thing. It was really like in multiple pieces there, barely hanging on together by a few joints and some still remaining parts. And the thing that I was surprised was there was no damage to the tube somehow. Like the tube, this bore the brunt of it, and it just shattered around the neck socket as opposed to breaking the tube as well, which would have just been a pain and awful.
Sure, that would have been game over.
Right.
Okay.
So I saw that and I was like, you know what? It looks brutally awful, but this isn't the most complex neck board. And let me see what else because there's a point where, all right, so challenge accepted. We're going to watch a little video clip here, hopefully.
All right.
Okay, so this KV, we got it cracked open. And, well, sorry. I found the obvious problem. Here.
No, wait, click the other one next to it.
That one.
That one.
Dumb me. All right, let's go back. Okay, so this KV, we got it cracked open.
The neck board off at this point.
And I found the obvious problem here with the C-board.
So
I'm going to go ahead and, hey,
circular cracking around the middle and some other cracks that emanate out from it.
Go heat it up. Got the tools ready. Yeah. So there was some more audio running there that you probably can't hear.
No,
okay, so that's it. Yeah, I just muted it. Sorry. So there's like 2 shouting matches going on. That was pretty fun. All right, so that's the issues. Obviously that neck board. I'm trying to see where I if I put a picture of that neck board anywhere else in here. Let's check this thread. And so anyway, I said I was going to fix it, and I tried to fix it, and I did fix it. I can't believe I don't have more pictures of this thing. But it still didn't work.
Okay.
And that was because I did not see this. Which, if you look closely at this picture, you'll soon notice this gigantic crack.
Ooh, this crack all the way up there. Okay.
And this is directly where the power comes in. Like the power cable, it goes from the wall to right here. And so this is literally cutting the power right at the source. Like it's not even plugged in. So there was never... So even after I... fixed that. I can't believe I must have not uploaded them. But anyway, this is the other thing. Maybe we'll see. Hopefully I do have some pictures of it somewhere.
No, this is good. I think we get this idea. So this picture demonstrates a number of things to us. We can see the crack. You can see how far it goes right through it, and weirdly how cleanly it's isolating the power. So of course nothing's getting power. But it also says, as you alluded to, that this set is so old that a lot of these circuit boards are like not that complex. Big traces. I mean, look at those friggin' huge traces there.
Well, that's what I did. So I look at this right here, right, everybody? So I look at this and I'm like, you know what? This isn't even that bad. If you look at this from this crack perspective, it cracks through here where there's literally nothing. It's cracking through the board parts. The only part of that whole thing that matters, like you say, is the actual power part. Back at the beginning of the picture, I keep
right. So above
thing.
The one where it's a 6.3 amp.
Right. All the rest of that crack doesn't matter. It's just down here as far as getting it to a test. So I did. I have to have pictures of that when I fixed it. Have to. Let's go back to the post spec section. And oh man, did I put any more pictures under this one? Let me just check this thread. All right. Let's go back.
Do you have any ability to show us the actual back today, or it's probably not going to work very well on stream?
Well, I've saved a bunch of those. I saved a bunch of those.
You got them on your phone? Could you transfer?
Well,
them
I do, but no, I'm going to make a whole video about this. So I've got way more on it. I just need to go back down here where the actual stuff is. Okay, sorry about that, folks. So I thought maybe I'd put some more in here. I cannot remember everything because obviously I was still hungover. Obviously, that's the problem, I think. So anyway, so what I had done is here. Let me turn that volume off so you can see. I'll pop this one out, and this was. I had finally I fixed that spot. I swear I put some pictures of that. I swear there were somewhere. Let me see. We'll talk about it in a second.
Yeah.
And I'll look for those pictures. I'll put the screen back on us. And I'll have to find them because you got to see what it looks like when it's back together. So this was when I first got power to it. I couldn't believe it. That light came on. And everything I tried had done nothing to this point. Mm-hmm. So that was it for that one. And then I have one more video. But while I look for that video, we'll come back and talk about it a little bit. And I'll pull this over here. So basically, it just had a buttload of broken traces. I've got to find but I've got to find the pictures. I know I posted pictures of the repair part. I had to have, I think.
I was just
so
good. Yeah. So I would be very interested to see the repair, and I think everyone would as well if it's possible. Snuffer says, when you repair a broken trace, is it enough to just bridge it with plain old solder? Or do you need to use wires or pieces of donor trace? So this also is my question as well. It'd be very interesting to see some of that. We could start with the power, because that's also quite a lot of power. It's not a very small board, so you can't just put some
you can't just put something that's just like raw too, where it's gonna go. And let me open up. I'm gonna send hopefully some pictures through our Discord chat, and then I'll pull them up. Because I know I have them in my phone of the actual repair. Sure. And so we'll send that one. And that way I can pull them up on my screen.
Okay, here we go. All right, so...
I believe that's the repaired neck board. Okay, here's the actual... So this, I'm going to pull these pictures up. And... we'll look at them together. First, which one do you guys want to look at first? The neck board, probably, or the? Let's start with
the power board.
Yeah, because that's a little bit easier. So let's go do that, and then we'll expand that out, and we'll put that over you, and we'll get real high tech. We'll go to the dashboard here. All right, so this is the repair. Not very complicated. You could see it again. I'm going to be honest with you. After I did all the work to the, after I did this second, like I found this problem second. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I went in and I reflowed solder on all these areas too. You could kind of tell that. Okay.
So that's those points. Did they need reflowing, or why did you do that?
Yeah, because it was a little bit compromised, and I didn't want to leave it. Those had taken some of the movement there, like where those inductors are, and that could have rattled that joint, even though it didn't get a break. Some of those parts are in between the break.
Sure. Okay, so this is a nice wire.
Yeah, I didn't bring any wire, so I salvaged this wire from my demonstration yoke. So that's where I got the little bit of blue wire. I cut it and stripped it and put it in like that, and I was like, well, that's pretty solid for a test, right? So that's how I repaired that. So if that, you could tell so this part so this is where the AC comes in, right? You have the black that was on this one, and then, which goes over to a fuse and off, and this is the white in America. And then, so this was originally going to this point on this transformer, which was broken, so I jumped that. Same thing, it broken here, so I jumped that over to this
so those
end of
two
a capacitor.
Points. Those 2 points at the top, they're like equal because they're on the same bit of trace, right? It just
these two are on the same. Yeah, they're all on the same. See how they're all the same thing together? They're all supposed to be together. This is all continuities on this. This is the same path.
Okay, so it just happened that you just put the wire. You could have put the wire to the one, for example. It wouldn't matter. Yeah.
I mean, you could have done this any real way. You could have probably just shaved this. You could have probably just shaved that and honestly blobbed a solder blob on there if you wanted to. I was just worried about it like shorting out against something. You know, you don't really want to have it bare too much under there. It's better to have some shielding.
Yeah, if it flexes a little bit more, especially with so much power, it's a
that's the
high power
main power. I do even need to go in and clean it up, but clean it up some more because this one was kind of nasty. But it all needs to be eventually serviced. I was just doing this again to get it. Now let me see if I can go to the neck board. So does anybody have? I'm not able to. I haven't been looking at the chat. Does anybody have any questions about that before I change to the next one?
Not so much. We've got some discussion
cool.
here. We're talking about different methods of doing it, but we can move on.
Excellent. All right, so let's open up the neck board. This is the one that was. This is the one that was original, but maybe a little bit more iffy. So.
Oh yeah, walk us through the cracks.
Yeah, I guess if we go over here.
Yeah.
There's this gigantic. Can you see my cursor?
Yes.
So my cursor showed you. First off, there's a gigantic crack right here, which actually went all the way, and all these cracks kind of like go to the actual neck socket. You can tell. So there's a crack right there, hits the neck socket. There was a second crack right here, hits the neck socket, goes around the neck socket, and all the way across. So this was barely hanging on basically by these other solder joints. And cracks. This was highly cracked over here in this area.
Yep.
And all of these points, I had to put fresh solder on because all the joints were rattled.
So is it here that the crack has mostly gone through a point?
And like all this is unaffected up here. Oh yeah, it's gone through all these points. So here's something interesting. Again, it comes up here, and even though it hits this sub bright thing, all I had to do is reflow solder there because that's not connected to anything right there, so that's pointless. Goes around there, it doesn't hit anything again till it hits here at the color red or color blue. So right away, it's broken color blue, broken color green, and then even goes over here to broken color red, and then it kind of stops over here at G1. All those basically broke where they were rattled free. So I did. Okay, go ahead.
This is the repaired version?
Yeah, this is after I repaired it. Because you could see where I bodged everything together.
Yes.
So I used just the legs. I didn't have any wire, I told you. I used I used scrap or extra capacitor legs to run the jumpers where I needed to. But the thing is this is such a low, there's not a lot of complex stuff going on in this section of the board. Why? That's the only reason I had confidence. Like if this was, there's no chips. This is all, if you had to, you could just wire all this without the board.
You're lucky it didn't happen at the top because that looks, that
would have been way worse if it would have busted up here.
That are there. So let's go back down again to, let's say KB, to the blue. Yeah. So the crack has gone through the point there. Yeah. Am I seeing correctly? So like there's half the point is on one side of the cracked board. The other half is on the other side of the cracked board. So if you added some solder and sort of bridged across that crack, that's how you fix that particular point.
Right. It just needs to be resoldered, and then I resoldered just the other things over here because that's all it's connected to is this point from these two resistors, R719 and R717, and then that goes over to the color blue. So it's so simple that you're like, well, all I need to do is make sure this path is solid. So I just reflowed solder and got them all to do that. And then, of course, after every time I do that, I would run my multimeter over all of this and make sure that there was continuity. Because that's all you have to do. If there's continuity, then you know your joint's good and your welds are good or whatever. And and then you get over here, and these are even simpler. They only have one resistor going to the green, one to the blue, not much over here going to G1. Same. I mean, this while the crack's bad in the board, it's basically you just need this path to maintain its continuity. And then the one that was like the worst is this break, for example, right here.
Okay.
where
Easy just to bridge it.
I just used that to bridge it with that capacitor leg.
Okay. In the chat, Mike Wags was asking, are you going to eventually glue the cracks, or what would be your next steps then to make a more permanent solution to this?
Yeah, this is pretty wacky. So I was thinking I would come in here and probably epoxy these areas without even removing it from the tube, because it is so flimsy that I'm afraid it's going to just break up if I pull it off and try to work on it some more. So I'm going to have to come in here and use some epoxy and inject that and try to solidify this whole thing up a little bit. Not too much, because then I will glue it to the tube and then I'll never get it off. So I just have to do it so I get it off, and then I would come in here, reflow all the solder on here, and once I have it off, I would see if there's an option of reinforcing that more. Which it's such a simple board, and I'm not really that concerned about it, because once it gets epoxied, it's fine. Really, it's not that bad. It's not something I would ever ship. It's going to be in my personal collection.
There was also some questions in the chat about how did this damage occur, because you've got the shroud or the plastic casing. So do you think it was like kicked or dropped on the back?
That's so, because the plastic on here now, I mean, if we go over to the TV, it shows literally no signs on the outside anywhere of an impact, which is just insane, right? Because you would think that there would be some kind of damage.
Right. This is the theory that we're talking about in the chat.
I don't understand. Yeah. I guess it hit and somehow it, like, because there's a lot of space. I have no idea how it moves and smashes that internally, but it happens. It's like something's flexing there and something's not.
Okay.
I guess, but this plastic on this shows no signs of any kind of wear and tear damage. Really, it's
and the set looks amazing. Just looks tremendous.
What year is this from? Composite, 1986.
Oh, beautiful. Good year. It's a good year. Composite and RF.
Composite and RF. There is a remote, I think, for it, obviously, because it's got a remote sensor. So I have it's a baffling thing to think that, I've seen it on the back of a PVM where it pushes, because it can push that plastic in, and that plastic comes off the rivets and hits the neck board. But this is kind of nuts, because it's all two solid pieces. But yeah. That's
looking great. And how do you what do you think generally about the geometry, the state of it? Have you done anything more to it?
No, I haven't. It still needs some work, because if you look, it's definitely got some purity stuff going on. My camera's glitching a little bit.
Sweet. Action.
Camera's been glitching out a little bit. Let's see here. All right, cool. So we've got right off the bat. There's a little I need to degauss wand it. I've not even done that yet. But there's a little bit of purity.
All right, a little bit, not so bad. Okay,
but it looks pretty good. I mean, if you look at it from like let's go over here.
I mean, consider 1986 in composite,
and it's never been like serviced
not bad
or anything
at all. Like
that's just straight out of the box for composite. Look at that.
Looking just fine, I think. Very interesting. Again, I'd love to talk to Howard to know how does these other sets look. And you know what also would be super interesting to talk to Howard about? He's got the perspective of VCR, Laserdisc, like of the units that are producing stuff, right? Like, what does he use to calibrate? Does he have some VHS that he sticks in?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
That'd be fascinating to know.
So one funny thing that we did try to do. So in the before my presentation, I was sitting there with Chris, Displace Gamers, and he brought it was a piece of test equipment from Tektronix that was a signal generator.
Ah, cool. I would love something like that.
Right. And so we were using it. It was cool. It was just like the 240p test suite with it was in a little Extron size box. like, and it would do analog video for composite, S video, and component out of this machine. And so it would give you all these amazing test patterns, and even more than the 240p test suite had that were different for the standard back then. The problem is we started using it, and then it started glitching out a little bit, and it had such old caps in it that it just went poof, and you immediately smelled rotten fish. And I was like, Chris, that thing just fried itself.
So you don't have any sort of signal generator right now?
I do, but it's bad. It's huge, and it's got all bad caps in it also, and it's like worse. I wanted to get this one because this one would have been easier to recap. It only had about 10 caps in it. Okay. And I would have done it at the show, but all the cap values were wacky. Like, okay, really, no, caps. It was really, really high microfarad caps, like 4,700 and things like that I did not bring, that were not standard, that had blown up. So it was a cool piece of equipment.
I would love a signal generator, and I've thought for a little while now. It's sort of like one. I don't have any sort of signal generator, and it's the one sort of thing that I think I don't have something of that I'm kind of missing. I've got a nice BVM, I've got some cool switches, I've got a nice DVD VCR combo, I've got a bunch of interesting shit to work with, but not a signal generator. There's a channel that y'all should watch. I linked this one to you, Steve. There's a YouTube channel. I think it's Matt's TV Barn. And he's this British guy who's got a lot of old video gear. And he specializes in video signal generators. So he's got some really nice CRTs. And he's got a load of different signal generators. He's got a few of them. I think they're Philips from memory. I can't remember. Okay. And they're all 1U rack mounted things, and he's got an NTSC one, a CCAM one, and a PAL one, and he's got a bunch of videos where he puts them on the scope and shows them those. And I would love something like that, because as soon as I saw there was a CCAM video, I lost my mind. I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is right up my street. And I've been trying to get this dude on the podcast. He's having a little break. He's moving the house, but okay. I'm trying to convince him to come on the podcast and chat with us about signal generation and CRTs and all this good stuff. Conway is talking about in the chat, a Raspberry Pi running 240p test suite would be cool. Yeah, so something small. I mean, you could do the Mister. Mister does the same sort of thing as well. It's not supremely portable. You know what might be interesting actually is, well, sort of, is I was gonna say a Raspberry Pi, or if the new like a Time Sleuth could include something like that. Like, instead of one of the displays, I can just program in a test pattern display. But then again, that's only HDMI. So probably the Mister is the most portable analog video signal generator we've got right now. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I think you're right. That's what makes these old devices so intriguing. And one of the things that I had been looking at was like a laser disc thing. But those on eBay are like $200 a piece. So the only way I was going to do that is if I got the museum job, and I would roll it in with the cost on that.
Sure. Wait, a Laserdisc player or some sort of generator? What do you mean?
A literal, there's like a commercial standardized Laserdisc that has test patterns on it.
Oh, like a proper disc,
yes,
like a laser
proper
disc.
laser disc with patterns and things. And the only reason the reason I would do that is because the museum job is on Laserdisc. So it would absolutely make sense to be calibrating it based on Laserdisc. So
I made for my home here, the most ghetto, I know we've talked about this before, a ghetto 240 or not a 480i test suite on DVD. So all I did was I went to Google, downloaded a number of test patterns in 16:9 and 4:3, like just the plain JPEG or whatever. Found the simplest DVD authoring software. I don't really know how to do it very well. Found some janky stuff and just created a really simple DVD that all it does is display that one image for like 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And has a number of different images. It's not meant to be scientific. It's not meant to be, but if you quickly need a test pattern on a DVD, hey, it'll get you going, get you where you need to go.
Yeah.
What are we going through let's go through the chat.
Yeah, I was
here.
going to say, let's get some more shout outs. Hey guys, if you're just coming in late, don't worry. We did go through the repair on this some. We'll talk a little bit more about it. But please, if you haven't already and you're new or coming in, drop a like for us if you haven't yet. It still will help the show keep going and get some more folks in here. We got a good sized crowd I see watching right now. Let's say Brian Harmon showed up. Thank you, Demo Kirby. Thank you, Mario Conway, for coming in too. Cousin Hubert. Go ahead.
So Brian makes an excellent point that another portable retro video generator could be a Nomad with cables. So if you had that, if you had such a thing, that would be a cool thing. Like Snuffer, as I was saying, you could just make your own DVD pretty easily. Now, this one from Mario, the PAL version of Virtua Fighter for the Saturn has a C-Cam compatible reference on the jewel case. What is that? Mario, do you know any more about that? Does it just mean it would, or I gotta look into what that, I don't know, is it just something they wrote? Like, it'll work? I didn't even know that there's not such a thing as a C-Cam Saturn. So that would be very interesting. Okay, we're gonna... Right, we'll just make a little note about that. Do love my obscure C-Cam stuff.
All right, there we go. That's right, folks.
Yeah, so I was a Mister is probably still the most portable signal generator, because I was thinking the reason I was thinking about this is because now there's the Time Sleuth, the Wicca Wacka has produced this homebrew project, the Mr. Lag tester, and it's essentially a time sleuth, but it's using just a photodiode connects to the Mister, and it could still be portable if you ran your Mister off a USB battery, if you were using Retro Castle's version that allows USB-C, then it would still kind of technically be portable. And you're asking yourself, why do you need a portable time sleuth? Well, I mean, I've got my video where I was lag testing inside of a 1,500-seat theater. Then a time sleuth was really useful. At that time I ran the time sleuth off a USB battery as well. Now I think about it. So, what do we got go through?
Yeah, the problem really is kind of such a pain to set. You know, you have to have so much kind of equipment sometimes to run that. It would be nice if there was something more portable. Now there are like there's an Extron handheld. But I didn't really like that very much, that one, of course. I don't know.
Any of those, let's say there's the Extron one, there's the one that I think you said Displaced Gamer had. Sorry, I think you were saying. So these commercial ones. Oh, yeah, we see the security. These commercial signal generators, Steve, do any of them output 240p?
See, that's the problem, not natively. Like, they'll only put out, like... 480i or higher, but yeah, so not generally.
This is where the Mister would actually be the optimal solution, because I feel
like the Mister would be better because you could really pull up, so many different styles of the 240p thing.
Right.
That you could do that, but then of course the problem is when you're messing with analog video, you're always, if you're going based off a console, it's almost, there's every console with the analog video signal has some little imperfection or something with it. Pretty much, there's not a perfect one.
This does sound like there's scope for super mega nerds like us. That again, it's just one of those wouldn't it be lovely thing that someone could produce a Mister Core that outputted signals. And different signals and gave you adjusting, because a lot of these units have adjustments that you can make and different variations and settings. And I know there is a Mr. Native 240p test suite that I think Keith Rainey, I want to say Keith Rainey's involved, but he's involved with all the stuff that's involved. So I don't know if he was doing it himself. There was an attempt to put the 240p test suite like on bare metal, so to speak, and it's not being emulated by a console. It's written directly into the FPGA, so it wouldn't have the it's probably in your, I think it's with Update All. I don't know, or have I got one there because I've just put it. I'm not sure, but I know someone was working on that, and all it had was the grid pattern, the first one that you pulled up. That it has that. So I don't know if there's been some progress with that. Daniel in the chat, test pattern generator V2 Are you just good at naming things, or is that a thing that we could investigate?
It says it's for arcades. It works with CGA.
Oh, okay.
So that's the thing.
Right,
everything
yeah,
is going to have its weird oddity almost with it, where you're like, well, this doesn't do everything I want. This doesn't do everything I want. It's almost like there would be a nice to have just like a special Mr. Tester edition or something, which you could build, I guess, some way.
Or maybe, who knows? I mean, now we're really talking far-fetched kind of stuff, but we've got projects like Mystex that is attempting to bring the Mister to lower priced.
Yeah,
implication being smaller FPGAs. So imagine a smaller, just the smallest device possible that's got a analog out somehow. I don't know. I'm really making this stuff up, or a HDMI that allows you to use it. That the smallest device that could do a 240p tile test speed would be kind of cool.
Yeah, but the thing is it would be nice if that would happen. That would be something that would be good for that like Mystex project. So you wouldn't have to. So you could run. You wouldn't need that heavy hardware to run in those stuff. So kind of getting a Mister setup to do that is a bit overkill and kind of expensive for most people just to run as a test generator. Now for me, it would be fine. If you don't
already have a Mister, as Conway says. Misters are pretty expensive. To Professor Whom, my man. Yes, the monoscope was the patent I was looking for before. As far as the last version that I have of this native 240p test suite for Mister, it only has the monoscope. But yeah, if it could run on a smaller cord, that would be cheaper. Maybe just like the smallest chip that's got, I don't know, like a D sub out or something could probably be rigged up that way. And as Brian is saying, yeah, that has the potential to give us the most pure signal out, or at least give us options. So if there's not one pure truth of signal out, it could be configurable.
Yeah, I think that eventually this will all come, because it's not that hard, but it's like you say, you could do it right now. It just costs a little bit more to be doing it the easiest way, I guess, to try to get going. But it's something to be necessary.
To the chat, Mr. Mario E. Have you got a link? If you've got a link, maybe you could just link us on Twitter. I'm at Zez. Steve is USA Retro.
They won't let you.
They don't get the links there.
They won't let you. Well, and YouTube will block the link if you put it on there. So yeah, sorry about that.
So with Conway's saying as hell to look into a Raspberry Pi. Now, could a Pi be a good signal generator? Possibly. But a Pi, that means the signal is still made in software, and it's not the hardware generated version like an FPGA based solution, maybe Mister, maybe something else. So it is one of those. You could get a Pi with composite output. I'm not sure. We would need someone more technical to know, could that Pi actually give us the detail, actually give us the level of settings and control that you would need to make that. Maybe not. I know there's a lot of small FPGAs coming out right now. Let's go down the chat here.
Hey, let's do a little challenge here, guys. Let's do a little challenge while we're here. People keep saying, let's see. I don't mind. I think I've got, oh crap, maybe I don't. But I can go get it.
What do you got?
Could set up and we could see what happens if I try to degauss this set with the wand live.
Okay, great. Yeah, get the wand.
How about that? Let's see what we got. We got 45 people watch. So I think we got about 61 likes. Get us to, come on, guys. Let's get over that threshold now. Let's get up to those 70 likes for Halloween. Come on, there's got to be 9 people in the chat who can do that. Now I'm gonna let Lewis keep deputy. I'm gonna let deputy top bum here take it to the rear, and while I go commandeer a degaussing wand from wherever it may be, we'll hopefully get to that threshold so we can do a live degaussing and see if that works. And then guess what? The next challenge will be whatever. Maybe I'll take the back off and we can see how it looks again after live here, what the actual board looks like. All right, see you in a second.
All right. Steve's going to get the degausser. We're going to see what we can do with the little red patch of impurity at the bottom of this beautiful, beautiful Sony CRT. How many likes for a Halloween zap? My man, Body Blow Biscuit Butter. I was also thinking the same. As soon as Steve said, I'm going to take the back off that thing, I was like, oh, dang, here we go. CRT safety man here. We're getting into this. Someone's going to get zapped. Steve's. Yes, Aka. Thank you very much for the 60th like there. We appreciate that. So we'll do the little stuff. I mean, God knows, Steve, he might even get the degaussing wand and then electrocute himself with that thing. You won't even need to pull the back off it yet. So this is the sort of stuff here. Thank you very much for joining, Conway. I wouldn't use a Pi for serious calibration. To do a quick check, absolutely. Quick geometry check, something you could plug in via composite, absolutely. Now I see where you're coming from with that. So a Pi with a composite out could be a very simple way to do that. If you could somehow rig it so that it auto boots into the testing software or some sort of signal. Yeah, the Time Sleuth with a signal generator built in would be kind of cool, kind of funky. Maybe they can, maybe there's a way, I don't know. Maybe they can replace one of the tourney options. Steve is the father of yes. If Steve's the father of CRT safety, then call Child Protective Services. All right, you know what I'm saying? Oh, here we go. The wand's coming out. He's got the wand in the box, so we're gonna find out as well. I don't think this is one of the cheap Chinese wands. Steve will give us more of the info because if you're getting the wands that you get from AliExpress are basically just like a power cable wrapped around a bit of metal, and that's like it. Super dangerous, as with all CRT stuff is anyway. So I suspect that Steve's got a higher quality wand. Okay, Professor Woom, Wii is a good way to go. Absolutely, that's another good one. So the Wii is a really good choice. It can output 240p. It's got the 240p test suite. It's got your 480i. It can do 480p. I think that's it. It doesn't do up to 720p. No, because that was the Wii U. So the Wii is great, and it's homebrewed. It's got 240p test suite. Pretty easy to get going. Pretty cheap as well. I'll look in my region. I mean, I think you could still get cheap Wiis, especially if you're just looking for some shitbox Wii that's all been banged up. If you don't need the sensor bar, you don't need nothing like that. A Wii can be a very good way to do it. Wii is one of those ones as well that the composite cables, I find they're not too hard to get. I've noticed in my area, like composite cables for the Wii still come up pretty regularly. Quite rare to find the official Wii SCART cable for us Euro PAL lovers. I don't think I've ever seen that, but when I know the Wiis were being used in PAL area is either composite or I've seen component cables around here, and I don't know why. There's not many sets with components, so I don't know why I see so many Wii component cables around here. But that's a nice flexible option. Steve, are you there with us, mate?
Sheriff's back with some
now this
hardware.
one stick, tell us about it. Is this an AliExpress special, or is this something?
No
that
way. This was back from when a store used to be around called Fry's Electronics.
Okay.
And it was a giant.
Okay.
It's still available online. It's the biggest, most powerful degaussing wand. You don't want to get the cheap ones because this is it's a very heavy. Well, it says intermittent duty, but it's pretty darn strong. So it'll actually start heating up in your hand because it's just generating a big magnetic field.
Sure, it's just power running through wires over a bit of metal. Like there's nothing.
That's right, just hear it in there.
Complex.
Sounds like a tambourine in there. So I'm going to take my magic wand. I'm going to take my magic wand and we're going to get it. I know, right? 69. What are we waiting on, folks? Let's get it. One more.
Yeah,
One
baby.
more and we'll get this.
Baby.
We'll get this sucker
69.
set up. We'll get it set up,
dude.
Oh yeah, I see it now. I believe we've run. Here we go.
Yeah, the next one. Hey, on the chat there, Aka, mate. Your Wii SCART cable, is it original one? Are you in a PAL territory? Tell us about it, because they're super rare. Wii SCART cable. Tell us all about it. Mike Wags. Degauss coil 30 to 60 seconds on, 1 hour off. Yeah. Look, don't fuck around with your Degauss cable, okay? Does a wand work any better than working with the inbuilt Degauss that is on a PVM or a professional monitor? Let's see what Steve says, actually. I don't know the answer to that.
Set up.
Steve's Demo Kirby's talking about retro games prices. Yeah, I would broadly agree with you that they're not going higher. I don't think they've necessarily dropped to the ground or they're going down or anything like that. But, now that you make me think about it, I would say I'm broadly seeing more reasonable, right? And, it was never going up and up forever. And it feels like there is some sort of broad agreement that the market fixing that was happening with What Are Games, like the worst of that is done. And the worst of the sealed hype is over. So I think there's still strong demand. I don't think our hobby has gotten less, but the hype generated prices are getting more reasonable. Okay, Sheriff, where are we at, Sheriff, man?
I had to go set things up for a second. Let's see what the other camera looks like now, and we'll go see how it rolls.
Summer is
right
here. Summer is here. Still talking about Wii Scar cables. Absolutely agree. You can get some high quality third-party SCART cables. I'm thinking of Retro Gaming Cables in the UK. I think that Retro Access in America could also make them for you. I've got a couple of Retro Gaming Cables, UK cables, the SCART versions, and they're awesome. So absolutely, high third-party Wii SCART cables could be.
All right, where are we at? Oh, we got the 72 there, Deputy. Good job. Way to get the people riled up and get the community going. We got it. We got enough.
So Steve, as you're unwrapping that, talk us through a little bit. What are the differences, better, worse, whatever, between a wand and between the built-in degauss in a professional monitor?
Well, the built-in degausser's nice, but this you have more control over, and it's more powerful even than the most powerful. Now, the ones that are in the Trinitrons that are new, and things that are professional are usually stronger, especially if it has a button for it. But even in those, sometimes you can get purity issues that can't get cleared up without this. So this is like your last resort. And this one may not be an issue with, maybe it is an issue where it needs an adjustment or a magnet added. It's so old. Maybe a magnet fell off when it took that big hit. I don't know. Yeah, you get a lovely shot of the Auric XL vacuum. I saw somebody. That is my basement vacuum. All right, before the camera goes crazy, I don't know how the camera's going to react to this degausser wand, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through the process of actually doing it here live, and I will take this thing and I will energize it, and I will come in from about a foot away, and I'll get and start making a slow circle and come towards the screen, and it'll really distort everything. And then I'll try to back out, and as I back out, I'll make the circle bigger till I get out of the range, which is about back to the desk here. And so we'll try it. We'll try it a couple times. It's only a little bit of a process, so let's go ahead and get started, guys. Thanks for the amazing participation on this Halloween.
You guys
let's
are doing
do it.
Great. This is fun. So, what I just learned from Steve's explanation there is there's a whole technique to this degaussing one thing that, look at that, he's like a magician. He's like sleight of hand, it's like Steve with the ladies, right? You got to rub small and then rub big, and you start with this. There's a technique, just all right. Oh, look at that. That's crazy. Okay. Small little ones, now big ones, now big ones, now big ones. It is wax on, wax off.
Yeah, so you can see, we'll do it again, but this one is something where it's going to need an adjustment, because even after doing that and balancing, we just balanced it, but it didn't actually get rid of the problem.
Does the top left corner seem bit off, or is that just the camera view?
The top's fine.
Okay,
it's just basically the bottom corner where you see that little pinch of green.
Yeah.
And I'll do it here in a second once this thing cools off, just to show so people can see it again on stream. What's up, Abe? Thanks for coming. Yeah, it's
hey, buddy.
It's obviously an issue inside.
Right. So the magnet thing, and the analogy that I often use when thinking of what the problem is now is there are magnets that sit inside, and they'll sit around the tube that will help this. And it's a little bit like when you're getting the wheel on your car, what is it when they put those little weights on there, aligned, a wheel alignment, and they have to put those little weights on there to make sure that your wheel goes straight. It's a kind of similar idea that if the degaussing wand doesn't work for this one, Steve's going to need to open up, and then there are little magnets that you can either apply or move the current ones there to sort of see if you can adjust that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's what we're going to have to do. Let me see if I can find a link for that.
Oh, for the degausser?
Yeah, I don't know if there is one, but we'll see. But, oh yeah, you get like Harry Potter wands. Like, pleasure wands.
Oh my God, here we go. Oh, the Harry Potter. I can't wait, bro.
Actually, I found
while you're
one.
doing that, I'll tell everyone. So next week, my girlfriend and I are going to London for like 4 nights, 5 nights, something like that. Just like to have a nice time away in London. And she's a huge Harry Potter fan. So we're going to the Harry Potter like exhibit. It's some huge thing. I don't even know exactly what it is. I just know the tickets cost me a buttload. But, you know, she loves Harry Potter. So I'm very happy to support anyone's geeky inclinations. So, yeah, we're going to be waving wands around and walking down Diagonal Alley and do it. Has anyone here in the chat of our friends here been to the Harry Potter exhibition or theme parky thing or whatever it is, the main one? Anyone in the chat been there? Let's see.
We'll see.
I want to know what I'm getting myself in for. I got to watch the movies again.
I think I found the good link here too.
Learn the lore on eBay.
All right, let's go over here to let's see if this will let me put this in the YouTube chat. I think this is one. That's the longest link. It might not even let me post that link.
Oh, here we go. No, I see it. I see your thing. Let's bring that up. Amazon. Okay. Yep, that's the one you've got. GC Waldom.
You may be able to find it cheaper.
Dude, $86? Fuck, that ain't cheap.
No.
Fair enough, but dang.
That's like the big one.
Okay.
But you can probably find it cheaper. I don't even think that's an affiliate link because I'm not logged in on this computer, so it's not a problem. You know, you could search around for it. That's just an example of anybody here. But yeah, it's something that if you own a lot, you have to have, you know. A lot of people have it. Now there's a smaller green one that's like $20. I've never used that one.
Is this small little pockety one?
Yeah, it's not it's not as powerful as this one. This is like the biggest one that you can pretty much buy anymore.
I mean, that sounds like the AliExpress. I'm a bit, kind of.
You may be able to find it on your end there.
Yeah, maybe. Let's go to the Ali.
I'm gonna. I'll do it one more time for the folks who just showed up and are hanging with us. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, let's do it again. Let's go again.
One more time. I'll change the color this time.
Sure.
And then we'll come back.
Okay. Do it again. Do it again. So, okay, we're back to the 240p test suite. We've got a solid color on that red. Okay, shake it, baby. Shake it, baby. Yeah, wave it.
Actually, let me see something else here, too. Try. Do something else.
What do we got? What's he going to do? Oh, what's that? Okay, small little sort of pointy magnet. Daniel Gonzalez says, I've used the green degaussing ones. It works, but it gets hot. That sounds about right, because it's just converting electricity into magnetism, which will also have the output of heat as well. So now he's getting all juju on us. So he put a magnet on there to sort of play with it, and now he's doing his little motions. Steve with the motion in the ocean. Wavy, waving. Little bit. It looks less.
It's still there, unfortunately.
Is it less though?
No.
Or not? Nah. Okay.
I don't think so. I have to open it up then. But that's a little demonstration on the magnetism right there, because let's see. That's actually the presentation I did. When I did my presentation, I did that exact same thing with the PVM. Only let's see. Hang on. I did the same thing with the PVM, only I was able to clear it up all the way, but that's when people go, ooh, when you start like drawing on the screen and then
you're like a magician.
Yeah.
The small, I was just looking at AliExpress, and the small green ones that are janky, get hot, as we were talking about in the chat, as Daniel was saying. So I'm seeing one on AliExpress right now for $5. We should tell you about the quality. $5. Guess how high quality that motherfucker is.
Yeah, you gotta have. Make sure you have one of these. A nice fire extinguisher.
Yes. A glove, maybe. Like, you want to get a big, thick rubber glove that will insulate you. Like,
yeah.
Would be yes, but I would worry for your safety. I've never noticed that fire extinguisher there. Now I see it. Okay.
I've actually got two of them in here.
It's very good of you, Steve, to have, you know.
Yeah. What can I say? All right, guys. Well, we've been going for a little over an hour. Does anybody have any other kind of questions or anything they want to talk about?
So Mike Wags is saying the green ones aren't worth your time. I would broadly agree with you, Mike. That yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing. If you want to degauss, you're looking at 60, 70, 80 bucks. If you're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. The first ones will move, the convergence will move, or the rings will move the purity. I don't know that it's we'll see. I mean, I'll definitely do that. That's sometimes gets messed up too. I had a 1405 that happened with. The purity got messed up by it taking a hard bump and shipping, and it had to actually be reset from factory.
Right on. So we saw a bit of degaussing. We saw it today.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, man. So that said, so what's as we close out today, Steve? What is next for that set? You gonna keep working on it? You gonna do other things? What do you think?
Well, for now, I'm not gonna. For now, so here's what I do. I do have a full video. I shot a bunch of footage of it when I was actually doing the show. That was just some things I had released on Twitter. So that is probably going to be next video. It'll be about a 10-minute video on the actual repair and fixing it. And so that's what I'll do. And then next, I've got a big list of repairs for people that I have to work about. So that's
you got real jobs to do.
Yeah, that's going to just sit over on the rack for a while till I have free time, if that ever happens again.
Sure.
So
I think you could very handsomely set already. Not a massive thing, to enjoy it a little bit. Just to enjoy a few games on it. It's great.
I was watching The Running Man on it last night when I went to bed. Good old Arnold.
Exciting life of Steve.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. All right, guys. I want to say thanks to my buddy Zez, Deputy, for coming in today and always hanging out.
Happy to be here. Love it. Love these live sessions. Dude, it's great. I love talking with you. I love our longer chats, but these sessions with the people in the chat, it's so much fun. To have that interactivity, to have the enthusiasm that y'all show for what we love doing, what Steve's an expert at, what I love talking about, is great. So really appreciate that. They really make it fun for us. So thank you to everybody.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you always, guys. This show is really about community, having fun, and kind of coming in here. I mean, I think it's quite unique. Trying to have a little fun, laugh a little bit, and get into like some weird, nerdy, technical stuff. And so I'm always happy to be here and do it. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, I can't believe how much the last month has gone for streaming. So before we get out of here, my last beg, hit the like button for us on the way out if you haven't already. If you want to go back and catch the rest of the show or any episodes of The Bunker, they are all on a playlist. Every episode so far is on a playlist on my channel, and so that will be ready, and these are all on demand there anytime you want to go back and enjoy. Thanks again, Zez. We'll catch up soon, and see everybody next time.
Everybody.
Bye, everybody.